How are French women so thin? You've probably seen one of these videos in your homepage. The world is going crazy for the French look, and not just in their clothes, but also in the size of French people's bodies. But how do French women really stay so thin? I lived in France for 4 years, and I can confirm that while I was there, I was also one of those people who ate everything they wanted and stayed slim as an athletic body type like mine could be. So what is the secret? What have I learned from the French diet? Is it really as simple as people want you to believe? Today I'm here to give you an honest overview of the French diet, what's good about it, and also its dark secret. The first thing I noticed when I arrived in France is that most people ate a green leaves salad with their meal. That alone told me that most people cared about the nutritional value of what they ate. And the advantage of this mindset is that 1, you're getting a good nutritional value. 2, you're filling up your stomach with a lighter part of your meal so that you don't exaggerate with the heavier part of your meal. And 3, you're building a healthy mindset. The second thing I noticed is that most dinners would have an apéro before them. That's wine, beer, or some other alcoholic beverages consumed while cooking dinner with friends or family. So that can be out with friends after work and before you go home to cook your dinner, or it can be with your family or your roommates if you're cooking your meal for dinner. Also, I noticed that every dinner would be followed by a yogurt, some cheese or cheese selection, and even some pastries. Yes, cheese is considered a dessert in France. And that's quite different from the Italian diet I grew up with, where every meal would be followed by fruit, and in the case of lunch, it would be followed by an espresso as well. So while eating all these tasty and good foods, how do people stay so thin? Well, French people don't snack. They smoke, at least the majority of them. I did too when I lived there. In addition to that, French people living in the cities walk a lot. You can catch them walking to work, walking from their parking lot to work. Then after work, they would walk towards a bar or a cafe to meet their friends for apéro. In addition to that, they're also very active, so you can definitely catch them at gyms, hiking on a Saturday or a Sunday, or even bouldering is very big in France. And these are healthy habits that they build since they're teenagers. Let's just say that apart from smoking, all of these things are good things that the French diet has to allow you to eat a large variety of very tasty foods without gaining weight. But there is also an underlying dark truth about the French diet. There's a huge pressure, not just from peers, but also from the government itself and from doctors not to be overweight. In addition to that, there's some sort of disgust and a lot of preconceived ideas about overweight people. I grew up in a very fat-phobic country myself, and even so, I had never witnessed as much pressure on being thin as I did in France. Picture this. Every other ad on TV or radio would be something about food. And after that ad, you immediately have a disclaimer from the government telling you that for your health, it is necessary that you quit snacking, that you eat 5 vegetables and fruits per day, that you need to consume alcohol in moderation and quit smoking if you want to be healthy. Every visit to the doctor tells you that you need to lose 1 to 3 kilos. Even a doctor in another country would tell you that the weight you're in is your ideal weight. From January to June, you're literally bombarded by ads about dieting pills, dieting supplements, dieting centers, diets that exclude carbohydrates, and literally everyone starts a juice cleanse diet right after Christmas. People even join veganuary to lose weight. 80% of brands, no matter their price range, don't cater for women past their size 40. That's a US size 12 or a UK size 8. That's not big, that's normal. Sometimes you even have the right to the ugly remark with a look from top to bottom saying that in the shop, oui, c'est un petit ici. Sometimes, even when you're out buying food, the seller would make a funny remark about you looking like a person who enjoys eating. There are so many preconceived ideas about people being mid-size, plus size, and generally overweight, even when they're not extremely overweight and they just have 2 extra kilos. You're considered someone who doesn't want to do anything, doesn't want to pull an effort to be thin. People who are overweight are considered feignant. So you don't want to do anything, you're lazy, you're not strong enough, or you're not courageous enough. You're easy if you're a woman, and you're not someone who takes care of yourself because you prefer eating that put in an effort into losing weight or stay thin as much as thin people do. Even dating as an overweight person is really difficult in France. People would rather have occasional sexual relationships with you than having a serious relationship with you if you're overweight. So you see, the dark secret or the dark side of the French diet is this generalized and institutionalized fat phobia that pushes people to privilege smoking, diet pills, diet centers, juice rinses, and in many cases, eating disorders to comply to a beauty standard that has a thin image at the forefront of it. That's something that many people won't tell you about the French diet, because a lot of French people don't even realize that they're in this bubble. And French diet has its own merits and a big impact on my life, but overall also have a very unhealthy side.